Kansas City, Missouri, the heart of America. Home to a diverse and growing population, both urban and suburban, spanning 300 square miles. We are fragmented, yet we are one, united in spirit and in our desire to relax and reconnect and rediscover ourselves at a festival, on a practice field, a winding trail, a picturesque boulevard, or a tranquil park. Places that exist thanks to inspiration and progressive thinking that began over a century ago and continues today. This is Kansas City, Missouri Parks and Recreation, and these are our favorite places.
George E. Kessler. He was a landscape architect who came to Kansas City in the late 1800s. In fact, he was hired by our first Board of Park Commissioners in 1892 to really help the board design a park and boulevard system. Cities in those days were pretty bad places. They were smoky, they were dirty, they lacked paved roads, they lacked trees, they lacked parks. So George was brought on board to help plan a vision for what Kansas City could be. The Kansas City Park and Boulevard system is considered the preeminent example of the City Beautiful movement. Scholars in landscape architecture and urban planning and civil engineering come to Kansas City to see firsthand what we accomplished here. Cliff Drive is a part of Kessler Park. It's one of the few byways in the United States that's located entirely within an urban area. Cliff Drive was actually designed and constructed back in the day of the horse and buggy. Actually, that was the inspiration for what the community and Parks and Recreation did a few years ago. Was on weekends we would close the drive to vehicular use so that pedestrians and bicyclists could use the drive with a greater degree of safety and really focus on bringing people back to the drive in ways that they hadn't experienced before in a long, long time. And that's exactly what George Kessler intended when he designed and constructed Cliff Drive.
Kansas City has 132 miles of spacious boulevards and parkways that wind their way through the city. Accented with our world-famous fountains, it defines our character, tying the community together with ribbons of green, following the natural terrain to literally take the parks to the people.
I grew up in the inner city, and we took advantage of that opportunity to use Swope Park and its pool for just about everything that was worth. We used to play baseball. We used to ride our bikes in Swope Park. We picnicked on Sundays and holidays in Swope Park all the time. Well, I'll tell you what, Swope Park is one of my favorite places, but even more specifically, Starlight Theater in Swope Park is one of my truly favorite places. I sold lemonade there in high school and college. I've seen all sorts of music there. It is an outdoor theater where every seat in the house is quality, where it really reflects Kansas City. Kansas City talent appears on that stage. It is a gym and a place that I think offers some truly great entertainment at reasonable cost to everybody in this city. It's well worth it, one of my favorite places.
Without a plan, the vision for Kansas City's parks, recreation programs, and boulevards would never be realized. Our comprehensive master plan is a 10-year action plan for identifying objectives, addressing initiatives, creating standards, and holding ourselves accountable to the community we serve.
I was looking for good volunteer opportunities to help me with my career and stuff, and I asked them what kind of programs they had, and the junior keeper one came up, and so I went for it. When I first came 3 years ago, I kind of thought it'd be taking care of animals, but when I came here it was more than that. I think it's good that I'm helping kind of with the process of rehabilitation and educating people on that. You get to do out of the ordinary things. You get to feed a squirrel and the opossum, and sometimes when they're getting new opossums in, you get to see little baby opossums, which are really cute, and you get to just do out of the ordinary things.
Kansas City has a history of pulling together associations, citizens, and communities to steward our parks and serve our citizens. First, we connect, gathering feedback and listening through surveys, focus groups, Facebook, and email, and tracking our progress with our SHAPE auditing program. So whether it's transforming our practice fields and parks, blazing trails, or launching citywide residential and business-centric green initiatives, we make a lasting, positive impact on our environment.
Well, Ian has been coming here probably about 2 months. I've been wanting him to become a little bit more active in his daily life. So when I asked him if he wanted to come down with me and start working out at the gym, you know, he was like, okay. Now once he started doing it, he really likes it. In fact, he is kind of a motivator for me because he pushes me to come down. Ian likes coming to work out here because I think he likes the equipment.
Well, I like to go to the treadmill. It's easy to lose my weight.
There's a lot of young people specifically in this particular area around the center. You see a lot of kids, you know, riding up on their bicycles and coming in to use the basketball courts. I think they make good friends and connections when they're here that they might not make otherwise. I think that it really is a positive impact.
This is my favorite place.
As home to the only satellite office of the National Sports Center for the Disabled, we are dedicated to serving every citizen, from honoring veterans to reaching underserved young adults through the Mayor's Night Hoops and Night Kicks programs. Kansas City Parks and Recreation is a study in great partnerships between our citizens, neighborhood organizations, and communities. From multi-sport activity camps to the summer backpack program, no one is left out and all are welcome.
A little bit more than 3 years ago, we were sitting around trying to figure out how do we come up with a way to use these facilities to the benefit of the community. Our Chief Operating Officer and Legal Counsel really came up with the concept of doing this event similar to Night Hoops, but Night Kicks for adults 18 to 25. We've got a lot of different ethnic groups and cultures in this tournament, and it breaks across all sorts of cultural lines. It gave them a place to play, and they'd never played under lights. They'd never played on turf. It was all a new experience. Here's what we didn't expect. We did not expect the crowds that we got, and you know, the families coming out, and so they're all age groups in the area. We didn't really expect that. It's a passion for us, and it's something that we've got a commitment to, and we get a lot of fulfillment out of it because we love it so much.
Earth Riders Trails Association. It's a local non-for-profit group that's 100% volunteer-based with the whole focus of building single-track hiking and mountain bike trails in the Kansas City area. Within Kansas City city limits, we're going to have close to 50 miles of true single-track trail. It's going to make it what we believe will be one of the largest urban pieces of single-track in the nation, if not the world. We have partnerships with I want to say it's about 7 different park systems in the region. Kansas City is by far the top notch. They've been super supportive since day one. In dealing with that partnership, we have greater visions, and working with the Parks Department of seeing what we can do to this park long term. We know it benefits everybody in the city. And I could see it easily being, it's definitely a model partnership in terms of what could be done elsewhere.
In addition to trails, Swope Park, one of the nation's largest urban parks, is home to Starlight Theater, the zoo, and a host of sporting and family-friendly activities. The fun stretches to Kansas City north of the river, where once vacant fields have been transformed into a vibrant destination for a growing population.
In the year 2000, Clay County passed a parks tax, or half-cent sales tax, which generates about $7 million a year. And people voted for that because they wanted park amenities in the county. And as county commissioners, we promised community centers and water facilities, trails, large parks. And so we developed the Tiffany Hills Park, which is a baseball, softball complex, and then of course the Springs, the aquatic facility that is here that people all over the region come into Platte County to use. 40% of our county is in Kansas City, and about 45% of our residents are Kansas City residents. So they have a place to go, and we offer this to the metropolitan area for all of Kansas City. Kansas City Parks and Recreation are tremendous partners, and they remain that today.
Kansas City, Missouri Parks and Recreation, keepers of the parks and boulevards that make our city profoundly beautiful. Stewards of the programs, centers, and destinations that make it so very robust. Preservers of George Kessler's vision to create a city within a park. A favorite place for everyone.